Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one who hates to admit when a teacher is right. When I was in school, I was that kid who was lazy. My English teacher, he would give me an assignment and say, write 1,000 words on this subject. You have 24 hours. 22 hours later, I would start writing the essay. I wrote my first draft in 2 hours, handed it to my English teacher, and forgot about it. My English teacher would then pull me aside the next day and say, your first draft sucked. Well, of course it fucking did. I rushed it, I left it to the last minute, I did the bare minimum of work, and I had that habit for the vast majority of my life. Until I picked up editing, and you will, in real time, witness the benefits of putting in that little bit of extra effort past your first draft. I wish I knew that so much sooner, because I fucking hated my English teacher, and that's what I want to show you. I want to show you the first draft of an edit that I did that at one point I thought was good enough, until the next day I watched it and realized, wow, this needs so much more work. And I'm going to break down what I did as to why a first draft sucks and why you need to continue making a better effort until you get it at, well, a good point, I guess. So the video I'm talking about is this teaser trailer that I did for this project that I'm producing called Fuck 2020. I could waffle on and introduce it, but it's better if I just show you the really poorly made first draft of this trailer.
2020 was gonna be my year. I was gonna make friends, fall in love, develop a skincare routine. Then this happened.
Coronavirus. Flattening the curve. Stay at home.
The Golden State is in shutdown mode.
That's right. I'm going to be quarantined with my weirdo roommates for the next 2 weeks, maybe longer. And the worst thing is, I don't even know them at all. All they do is just retreat into their rooms to watch Netflix. See, we've lived together, but we've never actually lived together.
Fuck off.
How am I going to be an extrovert alone with 3 introverts? Who's going to talk to me? And am I gonna have to get this Zoom thing that everyone keeps talking about? Ugh, this is all too much. Fuck 2020.
Look, it's okay. When I first drafted that trailer, I thought that was great. I thought that was amazing. And it wasn't until I watched it the next day that I realized it had so much more room for improvement. I can already imagine my English teacher being so proud of me because I want to put in an extra bit of effort. So straight away, I already identified a big problem. This is a trailer, and so I need a really hard hitting powerful shot to get everyone's attention. The stock image that I had, and especially with this basic lackluster text, this is a really underwhelming and uninformative first shot of a trailer. And so let's revise. So what I did instead is I found some stock footage of some confetti going off. Bang! That's a really interesting image to grab your attention. I wanted to express more of the character, the personality of the trailer. And so instead of this basic white text, I then made this far more stylistic glowy text. It's far more interesting to look at. 2 new pieces of information have been redrafted and have already made the opening shot of this trailer far more interesting. The biggest problem that I identified with this trailer is it's too long. And especially if you're trying to sell your trailer to potential INDIEGOGO supporters, how offensive would it be if you waste their time? So I cut out every single moment of pause in between the voiceover. I even cut out specific statements such as,
The Golden State is in shutdown mode.
That's right. See,
the time spent for that statement to be made didn't bring enough value to justify its presence, so I cut it. And now, of course, we go into the actual shots that I filmed. Of course, we wanted to make the illusion that there are 3 other people in this house. I grabbed 3 pieces of clothing and I simply dragged them across the frame. And also, not to mention, you hear nothing of the on-screen sound, and so I added in some basic cloth movement just to add in that extra little bit of illusion that these are, well, real people that are passing. And then, of course, I noticed in the first draft, the doors shutting was really underwhelming. I'm even playing the music underneath as well. I was doing a bad job highlighting that specific moment being significantly important. And so I needed to highlight that moment by first cutting the music, grab some door shutting sound effects online, but then there was still one element missing, and it was actually hearing the build-up of the doors closing. The sound effect I used was a whoosh sound effect of leather. Leather doesn't match a door, that makes no bloody sense. But in the context of a film, it does. Me putting in that leather whoosh sound effects as the doors were shutting added in that stylistic emphasis of the doors shutting. And then with that third door shutting, you can now motivate the music to come back in. But then one of the most interesting choices that I made here is I chose to murder my darlings. On the first draft, I chose to stylistically hold on to this fantastic performance by my girlfriend. I really wanted to celebrate how talented she is. I held on to that shot just for a little bit too long. And that's the problem. I was highlighting a performance rather than telling a story. And I don't want them to click off at the most integral part where we ask people to contribute. So I had to make the decision to sacrifice part of Ashley's performance by cutting it off from the knees at a significantly earlier point. By the way, Ashley does have her own YouTube channel, so you should subscribe to that as well. But that's all in the editing. There is actually a little bit of extra touch that I did with the visual storytelling. Because of course we needed to sell the idea of her being isolated in, well, self-isolation, I actually used the architecture of the house and even some of the set design to make her feel a lot more claustrophobic. For example, here, I have all of this dead space on the left and the right, but that's clearly defined by the two ribbons that frame her. And so I created a frame inside the frame. And that instinctively also tells you to ignore the space outside of her. And now that she's in a tighter frame, that's now even more kind of uncomfortable for you. And so now you relate to her just a little bit more. And so by this final shot where she is completely in frame and no longer cut off by the frames within a frame, she wants to break through those frames. She wants to break through that barrier. Now invites you into her space. And what that meant is that all of those little bit of extra choices that I made from the first draft to this version, and what I ended up doing is I cut out 13 seconds of this entire trailer. So nothing was actually changed, no shots were sacrificed, nothing got lost, except the only thing that's different now is that you, the audience, get your information significantly quicker. And that improvement of quality made this trailer a much better sell for new audiences.
2020 was gonna be my year. I was gonna make friends, fall in love, develop a skincare routine. Then this happened.
Coronavirus. Flattening the curve. Stay at home.
I'm going to be quarantined with my weirdo roommates for the next 2 weeks, maybe longer. And the worst thing is, I don't even know them at all. All they do is just retreat into their rooms to watch Netflix. We've lived together, but we've never actually lived together.
Fuck off.
How am I gonna be an extrovert alone with 3 introverts? Who's gonna talk to me? And am I gonna have to get this Zoom thing that everyone keeps talking about? This is all too much. Fuck 2020.
So that's what I'm doing for the rest of this year. I'm going to continue producing this film. And with your help to everyone who has contributed, we now have the budget flexibility to make this as best as possible. And for that, thank you. And for those who selected the perk to be part of the masterclass, thank you so much. And I will be in touch very soon. We have the flexibility to make this a safe set. All cast and crew are routinely tested to ensure that they are COVID negative. We can ensure that our locations are completely sterilized, and we are now able to comfortably proceed with this production with safety in mind. If you're interested to know how the production is going, you should follow FCK 2020 Film on all socials, and of course follow me on my socials as well. And the most important and biggest statement I need to make is to my English teacher. I am sorry. You were right. A second draft is really important. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Running through the city till I drop.